The name of this lesson is Area and Perimeter in Algebraic Form. We want to be able to represent the area of quadrilaterals as the product of two binomials and the perimeter as the sum of two binomials. So we first start with these binomials here, 4x plus 3 and x plus 2. And so when we're adding them, we can just put them one under the other, and 4x plus 1x is 5x. And then we're both adding 3 and 2, and you get 5. Or if we were going to subtract, we could do 4x minus 1x is 3x, and a positive 3 minus 2 is a positive 1. Okay, so that I think you're pretty familiar with. Now the multiplication is a little different, and here they show us a different way than we typically do it, so I will show you this way. Is what they've done is they have written the binomials here, 4x plus 3 and x plus 2, and they start with the 4x and they multiply it by the first term here, and which was x. Let me kind of erase that. Okay, we start with the 4x and they're going to multiply it by the x, and that's where they get 4x squared. Then they take the 4x and multiply it by the 2, and that's where they get 8x. Then they go down another line and they go to the second term here of the first binomial, 3, and multiply it by x, and you have 3x. And then 3 times 2 is 6. And then you're going to add these up, and you get 4x squared plus 11x plus 6. Okay? And that's fine if you like to do it that way. Most of the time we teach a process called FOIL, and so let's look at that one here, and however you want to do it is fine. So if I'm going to multiply these two binomials together, let's see, I'm just going to write it here, 4x plus 3, and then multiply by x plus 2, and I'm going to use the process called FOIL, F-O-I-L, which stands for first, outer, inner, and last. Okay, so let me change my color right here. So I multiply the first terms together. 4x times x is 4x squared. Then I multiply the outer. 4x times 2 is plus 8x. Then the inner, 3 times x is 3x. And then the last, 3 times 2 is 6. And then you combine these, any like terms. So here we have these like terms, and you get 4x squared plus 11x plus 6. So either way that you want to multiply the binomials is fine, and you should get the same answer. Okay? So remember that perimeter is the distance around the figure, and you can just add up all the sides to find the perimeter of a rectangle. So here in example 1, we have a rectangle. So what they want to do is find the perimeter and the area. So perimeter is you add up all the sides, and so they have written it here, x plus 3, so that's 1x plus 3, and then the other side is x plus 3, and then x plus 8. And you can write them formally like this, 22. Okay, a lot of times I might just go over here to, let me clear this a little bit, try and make it, if this, we know all the sides are the same, and so I might go over here and just add all my x's, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's 4x, and then add up all of the constants. 8 plus 3 is 11, plus 8, 19, plus 3 is 22. So nothing magic, just however is the best way to do it. And then the multiplication is for the area. So that's the perimeter, is 4x plus 22. Okay, and I should probably scroll just slightly so we can see below it they want the area. So the area is, we're going to have to multiply x plus 3 times x plus 8. And again, you can do it this way, multiply x times x, x squared, then multiply x times 8, and that's 8x, and then you're going to multiply 3 times x and get 3x, and 3 times 8 and get 24, and then add those x squared plus 11x plus 24. Or again, use the FOIL method, which would be x plus 3 times x plus 8, and first you get x squared, outer you get 8x, inner you get 3x, and then last 8 times 3 is 24, and then combine those middle two terms and you get 8x plus 11x plus 24. So, but the big idea is when you're multiplying binomials, you're either going to have to use like the distributive property or FOIL. Okay, so here's a quick check. So please pause and try and do this one yourself. Okay, so for the perimeter, we just added up all the sides, and so I added all my x's. I had 1 plus 2, that's 3, 4, and 2 more, 6x, and then I just added my constants, 3 plus 1 plus 3 plus 1, and that's how I got 6x plus 8. And then for the area, when we multiply the two binomials, change the color. So I'll multiply 2x times x, and that's 2x squared. Outer, 2x times 1, 2x. Inner, 3 times x, 3x. And last, 3 times 1. Oh, and that should be 3, not 1. Good, I caught that. And now we're just going to combine these like terms in the middle, and you'll give 2x squared plus 5x plus 3. And that is the area of that rectangle. All right, let's look at one more. The length of the side of a square is 3x minus 1. Okay, so they tell us that the side is 3x minus 1. Well, it's a square. If one of them is 3x minus 1, they're all 3x minus 1. And so perimeter, we can just add up 3, 3, 3, and 3, so that's 12 x's. And now we have a negative 1, a negative 1, a negative 1, and a negative 1, and so that's minus 4. So that's the perimeter. Now when we multiply 3x minus 1 times 3x minus 1, same deal, use FOIL. 3x times 3x is 9x squared. Negative 1 times 3x is negative 3x. Negative 1 times 3x is negative 3x. A negative 1 times a negative 1 is a positive 1. Combine these middle two terms, and you have 9x squared minus 6x plus 1. Okay. So next, we're going to go to a little bit of a different problem where we have a rectangular fish pond. It's surrounded by a brick walkway. We want to write an expression to describe the area of the brick walkway. So what we care about is, this is all the brick. So what we want to do is we want to get the area of this whole thing, the whole big rectangle, which we know is multiplying x plus 4 times 2x plus 4. So 2x plus 4 times x plus 4. Okay, I'm going to use FOIL. 2x times x, 2x squared. 2x times 4, 8x. 4 times x, 4x. Sorry, I'm out of room. 4 times 4 is 16. Let me clear that up a little bit, clean it up. We get 2x squared. 8x plus 4x is 12x plus 16. Okay? So let's see if we can't erase some of this here. So I have a little room. Okay, so now that's the area of the entire thing. But we have this part in the middle that we want to subtract because we don't want this area. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to multiply 2x times x here, and 2x times x is just 2x squared. And we want to subtract this in the middle from the whole thing. So minus 2x squared. And 2x squared minus 2x squared, that's 0. I left off my x there. But we are left with 12x plus 16. Okay, that's a little tricky one. And so I want you to please pause and try and do the quick check, which is below, and it's very similar. So, but find the area of the shaded region if they give you the area of the total region, okay? So you don't have to multiply it together. They've already given it to you. And the area and x squared plus 2 is the area of the unshaded region. So think of what you're going to do, okay? You already have the area of the shade of the whole thing. So find the area of the shaded region. Okay, so the total region is 9x squared minus 6, but we have to subtract from that. Let me clean this up a little bit again because I need a little room. We have 9x minus 6, but we need to subtract x squared plus 2. So this negative is going to have to be distributed, okay? So let me change my color. So this is going to be negative x squared and then minus 2. So 9x squared minus x squared is 8 squared. And then I have a negative 6 minus 2 would be negative 8. So just remember, this negative outside of parentheses has to be distributed throughout the entire parentheses. And that is the end. Okay, so hopefully that makes a lot of sense and you can work on the practice, and please ask if you have questions.